Hello everyone, I am the Great Judgini, and this is my first ever full playthrough of Planescape Torment. And what I just saw is what I can only imagine a sequence of vignettes that someone who has played the entire game knows all the context of, and someone like me who has essentially just started has no clue what just happened. Now, when I say my first full playthrough, to give the full context, I have played roughly 4 to 5 hours of this game a couple of years ago, and I was enjoying it immensely until the PS5 that I was playing it on decided I was having too much fun, and anytime I decided to save my game, it would crash. So, needless to say, I needed a bit of a break, but the itch to revisit this game has come crawling back, and I am ready to dive back in. I don't really remember much about this game or the world. I explored the first big accessible area of the hub, but in terms of story, outside of the basic premise, there's not a whole lot that I recall, so I am really excited to kick it off. Without further ado, let's jump into the character generator. So I can only assume, yeah, I've played quite a few decent RPGs, so I can have a bit of an idea onto what these all mean. Typically, whenever I play RPGs, I like to boost quite a bit of the intelligence, the wisdom. Okay, so... Alright, so I'm just fooling around a little bit. It looks like these go up to 18. I can imagine it... D&D stats. I've never played D&D, but I am just going with the flow. So I do like to play, as I was saying, a very much intelligent, charismatic, less so when it comes to strength. Do like dexterity. Okay, so can it only really go down to 9 is what I'm seeing. So we can only really be average, but we can get exceptional. We can't go below average. So, I think what I'm going to do... High Constitution gives you more hit points, faster regeneration. Honestly, I think I'm going to go with this, where I'm boosting a couple stats, and let's leave the rest as average, shall we say. And we'll jump right in.
Hey, Chief. You okay? You playing corpse or you putting the blinds on the dusties? I thought you were a deader for sure.
And we see this disembodied skull just float right over. Who are you? Who am I? How about you start? Who are you? I asked you first, Skull. Yeah, and I asked you second. What's your name? I don't know. I can't remember. You can't remember your name? Well, next time you spend the night in this burg, go easy on the bub. Name's Mort. I'm trapped in here too. Trapped? Yeah, since you haven't got time to get your legs straight, here's the chant. I've tried all the doors, and this room is locked tighter than a chastity belt. We're off to the races already. We're locked in where? What is this place? It's called the Mortuary. It's a big black structure with all the architectural charm of a pregnant spider. You've got a taste for words, don't you? The mortuary. What? Am I dead? Not from where I'm standing. You got scars aplenty, though. Looks like some Burke painted you with a knife. All the more reason to give this place the laugh before whoever carved you up comes back to finish the job. Scars? How bad are they? Well, the carvings on your chest aren't too bad, but the ones on your back. Say, looks like you got a whole tattoo gallery on your back, Chief. Spells out something. Tattoos on my back? What do they say? Heh, looks like you come with directions. Let's see. It starts with, I know you feel like you've been drinking a few kegs of sticks wash, but you need to center yourself. Among your possessions is a journal that has shed some light on the dark of the matter. Farad can fill you in on the rest of the chant if he's not in the dead book already. Farad, does it say anything else? Yeah, there's a bit more. Let's say it goes on. Don't lose the journal or we'll be up against the sticks again. And whatever you do, do not tell anyone who you are or what happens to you, or they'll put you on a quick pilgrimage to the crematorium. Do what I tell you. Read the journal, then find Farad. So, one of the reasons that I took a liking to this game, not only because whenever I hear anybody putting together a list of the best RPGs ever made, Planescape Torment usually comes into conversation, provided that the person has actually played said game. I hear it's a bit of a cult classic, not necessarily one that is widespread or that a lot of people know about. But I also... One of my favorite games of all time is Disco Elysium. Just the depth of writing, the characterization, the kind of story that it tells, and that you wake up, you have no idea who you are, what your surroundings are, where you've been, but you are this man and you have to essentially discover who you are. This game is very similar. You wake up in this strange place and you have no clue who you are or what to do except for these instructions that you found on your back, I suppose. No wonder my back hurts. There's a damn novel written there. It's for that journal I'm supposed to have with me. Was there one with me when I was lying here? No, you were stripped to the skins when you arrived here. Besides, looks like you got enough of a journal penned on your body. What about Farad? Do you know him? Nobody I know. But then again, I don't know many people. Still, some Burks gotta know where to find Farad. Once we get out of here, that is. Well, how do we get out of here? Well, all the doors are locked, so we'll need the key. Chances are one of the walking corpses in this room has it. Walking corpses? Yeah, the mortuary keepers use dead bodies as cheap labor. The corpses are dumb as stones, but they're harmless and won't attack you unless you attack first. So right away we can make a choice and say, are we more attacking? Are we aggressive? Or I don't want to kill corpses just for a key. Given that I am playing the more charismatic, intelligent, that kind of build, probably not wise to go and attack head on, so I don't want to kill them just for a key. What, you think it's going to hurt their feelings? They're dead. But if you want a bright side to this, if you kill them, at least they'll have a rest before their keepers raise them up to work again. So, even if they do die, apparently they're going to get resurrected and get back to work, some kind of slave labor. Well, alright, I'll take one of them down and get the key. We have no choice. Well, before you do that, arm yourself first. I think there's a scalpel on one of the shelves around here. Search the shelves in the room for a weapon to attack the zombies with. When you find one, go to the inventory screen, the backpack button in the lower right, and arm yourself. You should examine, right-click them on the inventory screen. Alright, let's look for one. One last thing. Those corpses are as slow as molasses, but getting punched by one of them is like being kissed by a battering ram. If they start getting an edge on you, remember you can run, and they can't. Use it to keep some distance if you need to recover. So either toggle run on the option screen or hold down the shift and left click on the area you run to. If you're in danger of dying, use running to keep your distance. Okay. Alright, let us learn how to play. I don't know, so let's go. Comment log, quick loot, quickly gather, select how they are formed, stop current action, and select all characters. Yeah, they're it's gonna take me some time to learn what all these buttons do and fully how to utilize them well, but we can select spell, select okay, weapon, spell, item, special ability, and initiate conversation with a party member. Open a menu. Okay, so this is pre-scrolls, which I imagine are, if we come across, I have played Baldur's Gate 3, which is kind of similar to D&D, so I imagine if you pick up a scroll, it's like a one-time use of a spell. Journal, which is what we're looking for, but also review quest objectives, stats, dialogue window, party AI. Okay, so we can fully control them, or we can just kind of let them run amok. Rest party. If resting is permitted, they rest and restore hit points and spells. Map screen, inventory screen. Okay. And let's just see what we can do. I am running Or I am pressing shift, but nothing seems to be happening. So let's see if we can toggle that really quickly. Let's just say always run. Easy peasy. All right. So we wake up. We have no idea who we are or what the hell this guy is. But he just wants us to examine the shelves, so we are going to do so. And we find bandages, but no scalpel. So maybe he's talking about another one. Looks like someone is in the middle of dissecting this corpse. The slab is covered with dried blood and other remains. So I suppose we'll just have to look around some more. There's another shelf over here. System of rails is running through the whole room. Looks like the slabs can be moved around on these rails. So we did see some... What? Huh? Hello? We did see what looked to be some kind of dead worker pushing us in on a slab. Presumably thinking that we are dead, but we are not, in fact, dead. Although this is a mortuary. So here is our scalpel. All right, you found the scalpel. Now go get those corpses. And don't worry, I'll stay back and provide valuable tactical advice. Well, maybe you could help me, Mort. I will be helping you. Good advice is hard to come by. I meant help in attacking the corpse. Me? I'm a romantic, not a soldier. I just get in the way. So, right away we can decide, hey, if you aren't there with me, you will be the next thing that I plunge the scalpel in. But let's not be so aggressive so quickly. A key also toggles the attack cursor. So that is our weapon. But let's see if we can select our weapon first, because it shows our fist. Do we have to equip it, I wonder? Okay, so we do have to move it into our menu. This is kind of our... Glad that we have an eyeball. You ever look at a sentence and just kind of wonder what it means? Eyes cannot be removed, only switched. I can't wait to find out what that means. Let's switch to our scalpel. Looks like we probably already have it. But let's not attack quite so soon. Let's see if we can communicate. This corpse's head lolls back and forth on its shoulders. Judging from the angle of the neck, it looks like the man may have been hanged. The number 825 has been painted on the side of the head. Let's see if it's carrying a key. This corpse is carrying nothing, but you happen to notice its hands are heavily bandaged. The bandage might be useful if the corpse was disposed of first. Guess you don't have the key. You don't happen to know which one of your other corpse friends has the key out of this place. Chief, they can't hear you, all right? They're dead. But you're dead, and you're talking to me. Yeah, but I'm special. Death couldn't kill my zest for life. These corpses here, Mort rolls his eyes. They probably didn't have much personality to begin with. I see. Look, Chief, watching you trying to swap the chant with these corpses isn't doing much for my morale. Let's leave the corpse talk for the barmies, all right? Okay. I'm just trying to be nice. And although you tell me not to, I am going to talk to this one. Shambling corpse looks like it's been dead for several years. The skin alongside its forehead is peeled back, revealing its chalk-white skull. Someone has chiseled the number 569 into the exposed bone. So it is probably worthwhile to talk to them, examine them, just to see which one has a key before we start fighting. I don't know if I'm going to aggro the other ones. This corpse doesn't appear to be carrying a key, and it doesn't look like it would be able to use one if it did. Its fingers are broken, as if someone smashed them with a hammer. Do happen to notice its left shoulder is heavily bandaged. The bandages might be useful if the corpse was disposed of first. So we could go ahead and kill these for the bandages. Bloody cloth covers the remains of this corpse. Almost unbearable. Hey, calm down. Hold on. Oh, we do have to click the dialogue button before engaging, I imagine. Or maybe not. Stares blankly. The number 782 is carved and its lips have been stitched closed. The faint smell of formaldehyde emanates from the body. This corpse looks like the one with the key. It is holding it tightly in its left hand, its thumb and forefinger locked around it in a tight grip. A death grip. It looks like you'll need to hack the corpse's hand off to free the key. I need that key, corpse. Looks like you're not long for this world. Oh, we're just gonna go ahead. All right. So we're just gonna start damaging. We do have a health meter, but it looks like doesn't have much. Let's pick it up. Preparation room key, done. Let's see. It doesn't look like this is a big room. We only have 2 others, it appears. Let's see if we can just go for it. I feel like bandages are going to be... Okay, so we got the jump on him. Pretty easy. Let's give it a go. I do feel sorry for these zombie workers, but... Damn. It does sound like we can just, or not we, but the people, whoever runs this place, can resurrect them at whim. So if anything, I feel like I'm doing them a service by putting them out of their misery. This probably is the way out. The door is locked. You will need a key. So let's go into our select item. All right, so that's our quick menu, I suppose, for not just our weapons, but all of our items. Let's go into the inventory screen. Preparation room key. The head of this bronze key has been twisted around itself several times so that it resembles a screw, if more is be believed, amongst one of the doors. So when using keys in Torment, you only need to have them in your inventory to unlock a door. In some cases, the key will vanish after it's used. It will be done when the key is no longer needed. So looks like it frees up our inventory spot, which means we have a limited item space. Okay. But if it is automatically used, that means that is not the way out. Let's look around. Maybe here. Nope. Maybe here. All right. What's this? Nothing. Okay. Apologies, but I am the type of person to want to scour every nook and cranny. Just bear with me. Psst. Some advice, Chief. I'd keep it quiet from here on. No need to put any more corpses in the dead book than necessary, especially the femmes. Plus, killing them might draw the caretakers here. Well, I think we have to ask the question that's on everybody's mind. Why do you care about the female corpses? What, are you serious? Look, Chief, those dead chits are the last chance for a couple of hardy bastards like us. We need to be chivalrous. No hacking them up for keys, no lopping their limbs off, things like that. Last chance? What are you talking about? Chief, they're dead, we're dead. See where I'm going? You can't be serious. Chief, we already got an opening line with these limping ladies. We've all died at least once. We'll have something to talk about. They'll appreciate men with our kind of death experience. Wait, didn't you say before that I'm not dead? Well, all right, you might not be dead, but I am, and from where I'm standing, I wouldn't mind sharing a coffin with some of these fine, sinewy cadavers I see here. Mort starts clacking his teeth as if in anticipation. Of course, the caretakers would have to part with them first, and that's not likely. Who are these caretakers again? They call themselves the Dustmen. You can't miss them. They have an obsession with black and rigor mortis of the face. They're an addled bunch of ghoulish death worshippers. They believe everybody should die sooner better than later. But then why do these Dustmen care if I escape? Weren't you listening? I said the Dusties believe everybody's got to die sooner better than later. You think the corpses you've seen are happier in the dead book than out of it? But where do they all come from? Death visits the plains every day, Chief. These shamblers are all that's left of the poor sods who sold their bodies to the caretakers after death. So, they sold their bodies to the caretakers after death. So that seems to imply that they did this of their own will, and that whoever owns these are essentially, well, I assume, getting these bodies by less than wholesome means, let's say. That's at least what my first assumption was, but I guess some people might be giving themselves up. It's obviously still a little addled after your kiss with death, so I got 2 bits of advice for you. One, if you got questions, ask me, alright? Speaks to a party member, okay, yeah. If any questions, I'll ask you. Second, if you're half as forgetful as you seem to be, start writing stuff down. Whenever you come across something that might be important, jot it down so you don't forget. If I had that journal I was supposed to have with me, I'd do that. Start a new one then, Chief. No loss. There's plenty of parchment and ink around here to last you. Alright, couldn't hurt. I'll make a new one then. Use it to keep track of your movements. If you start to get cloudy on important things like who you are, or more importantly, who I am, use it to refresh your memory. Alright.
Journal.
So, one thing I do remember is that the journal will automatically update and it will tell us when it will update. From what Mort read from the directions tattooed on my back, I need to find someone named Farad. Not certain where to start looking. Hopefully asking some of the locals in this strange place will allow me to track him down. So, we have 2 goals. We need to find a journal that we allegedly had with us that the instructions on our back told us to read, as well as Farad, who might have it. Or, well, it said that Farad we should go see, not that necessarily might have it. Skin is paper thin, almost wispy. Sorry, just read ahead to the next dialogue choice. Draped a sheet of cobwebs across her frame, number 594. So let's take Mort's advice here. So, doing anything later? The corpse continues to stare at you. Farewell then. Psst. You see the way she was looking at me? Huh? You see that? The way she was following the curve of my occipital bone? You know, you gotta take what you can get. And I suppose for a skeleton, you can... a disembodied skeleton head, you can only take so much. You mean that blank-eyed, beyond-the-grave stare? What, are you blind? She was scouting me out. It was shameless the way she wanted me. No. Wanted you to go away, maybe. She was obviously too distracted by me to pay attention to some stupid bobbing head with a big mouth. You... Yeah, right, trust me. Chits beyond the grave don't care about all that physicality, and I've got a body, and I'm all scarred and tough looking. They want guys with spirit. That's me, Chief. You? Corpses like you are as common as copper. Whatever, Mort. So, it would appear that Mort keeps referring to us as a corpse, and yet also not a corpse. So... judging by the way that we look with all these disgusting scars and such, and we also are automatically healing, which is nice, we might be in between death, so to speak. Left side looks as if it was caved in with a club, and her flesh sags in bruised, swollen clumps over her ruined skull. The number 626 has been stitched. Stitched. It's a stitch joke, you won't understand. Onto the corpse's right cheek just below the eye. Nasty wound you've got there. The corpse continues to stare at you with its one good eye. Well, maybe conversing with these folks isn't going to be doing a whole lot of good for us, but that doesn't mean I will stop trying. Let's keep looking around. Hello. Fine sir and or madam. Bandaging the corpse is lying there, so it clearly has some level of autonomy or some kind of intelligent thinking. Its lips are stitched closed. You notice the corpse carrying a roll of bandages in its hand. The bandages look usable. Mind if I borrow those bandages? Continues to stare at you, so let's just try to gently take the bandages from the zombie. You snake your hand out and take the roll of bandages from the corpse's hand. It doesn't even seem to notice. It continues going through the motions of bandaging the bodies. So, okay, it's... maybe intelligent thinking wasn't the right word. Maybe it is more set in a routine. Either that it's been pre-programmed into the people, the dust men who seem to rule this place, or it's, I don't know, is just doing what it's told, but can't actually think for itself. Sorry about taking those bandages from you. It's just that I needed them more than the bodies here. And it, as ever, will continue to stare. There do seem to be quite a few bodies. The more I walk into this screen, the merrier. 1201. have been inked on its forehead. The ink has run down its eyes, cheeks, and jaw. It has run into the stitching, sealing the corpse's lips. So most of these guys have sealed lips. The ones that don't seem to maybe have more of an injury. So it seems like their default is to have sealed lips. I wonder if that means that they can talk, but they just simply can't now because their lips have been stitched, or if they simply literally cannot. But it looks like it has a note stuck in the corpse's mouth. Let's try and pull it out. It's mingled with the ichor in the zombie's mouth. If you tried to pull the paper out through the cross stitches, it would tear the paper to shreds. Hacking up the corpse to get at it would destroy it. You'll need a delicate way. Let's use the scalpel to cut through the stitches. Gain us experience. You deftly slice through the stitches, sealing the corpse's mouth, and the jaw sags open. You carefully pull the note from the corpse's mouth. Despite the condition on the paper, the writing appears legible. To read notes, place them in your inventory, then right-click to bring up their information panel. Let's see. Note from Corpse 1201. This is a foul-smelling note retrieved from the mouth of one of the mortuary zombies. It looks like it was sewn into the corpse's mouth by accident. Despite its condition, the writing is legible. Please, to whatever dustman reads this, I beg of you, I know of my legal obligation under the terms of the dead contract, but I am prepared to offer more than my signing fee if you will cremate my body rather than raising it. I have arranged for this note to be left on my body upon my death. If you are reading this, then please use this note as instructed and accept the result in exchange for my contracted duty. Let my contract number serve as the key. Looks like the corpse was too late to prevent the raising, but you notice that beneath the writing is a diagram. It looks like directions for folding the parchment into a strange pattern. So we can use it further. If you're capable of performing an action on an object outside of the world screen, a use button will appear for the object on this examine screen. Allows you to... Okay, so use this right here. But it looks like definitely signing away their body under a legal obligation, a dead contract, but so it says signing fee. So are they not only signing their body away but paying to sign it? But this one apparently did not want his body to continuously be raised over and over. Clearly his last wish went unheeded. Foul-smelling note has a strange-looking diagram inscribed beneath the writing. It looks as if it's instructing you to fold the corners of the note so their points touch the center. There's a series of strange marks in the corner. 1 mark on the upper right, 2 on the lower right, 3 on the lower left, and none on the upper left. So maybe some kind of order. Corner inward so its point touches the center. Let's try the lower right. So wait, no, hold on. Did I just do the lower right? I did the upper right. So upper, lower, lower left, upper left is not to be touched. Maybe the no marks meant that that's actually the first one that we need to do, and then we can do the other 3. 1 mark on the upper right, 2 marks on the lower right, 3 marks, and no marks on the upper left. Let's try... Okay, so we can't do it more than once in terms of how many times we can fold. That was my next guess. 1 mark on the upper right, 2 marks on the lower right, 3 marks on the lower left. I guess we'll just have to keep that in mind, maybe. We'll find some more information on that as we go. Nothing here. Nothing here. How are you? Another corpse smelling of formaldehyde. Always a good sign. Appears to be in an advanced stage of decay. Her jaw is missing. Some of the flesh has slid off of her skull, revealing the number chiseled into her bone. Cool. I think this one's seen better days. The corpse does not respond to your voice. The fact that it has no jaw may have something to do with it. Either that or it simply has nothing to say. I have a feeling even if it had a jaw, it wouldn't be doing much talking to begin with. Making the rounds from slab to slab. So another one seemingly doing work. Her hair is knotted into a long braid and looped around her neck like a noose. Stenciled 1096 onto her forehead. Her lips have been stitched closed. All right, well, the first corpse that we flirted with did not seem to react. Let's try ice braid. It doesn't respond. Not that it knows it's here. However, there's somebody else in the room with us. Doll. This scribe looks very old. His skin is wrinkled and has a slight trace of yellow like old parchment. Charcoal gray eyes lie within an angular face, and a large white beard flows down the front of his robes like a waterfall. His breathing is ragged and irregular, but even his occasional coughing does not slow the scratching of his quill pen. Some of the descriptive writing in this game really, it does remind me of, and I promise I'll stop comparing it to Disco Elysium, but also in the sense that it does give a clear picture, because we can obviously only see so much of this man, but it's really captivating. It really brings you right into this world. Greetings. Whoa, Chief, what are you doing? I was going to speak with a scribe. He might know something about how I got there. Listen, I'm going to talk to everybody more. If you're going to have a problem with that, we're going to get off on the wrong foot, you and I. You can always just stay here in the room with all the corpses. I can leave you behind. Look, rattling your bone box with Dusty should be the last thing. Before Mort can finish his rant, the scribe begins coughing violently. After a moment or two, the coughing spell dies down, and the scribe's breathing resumes its ragged wheeze. So, a Dusty, clearly a Dustborn, one of the people running this place. And we especially shouldn't be swapping the chant with sick Dusties. Come on, let's leave. The quicker we give this place the laugh, the bet. Before Mort can finish, the scribe's gray eyes flicker to you. The weight of years hangs heavy upon me, restless one. He places down his quill. But I do not yet count deafness among my ailments. Restless one, do you know me? Know you? There's a trace of bitterness in the scribe's voice as he speaks. I have never known you, restless one, no more than you have known yourself. He is silent for a moment. For you have forgotten, have you not? Who are you? As always, the question, and the wrong question as always. He bows slightly, but the movement suddenly sends him into a bout of coughing. He pauses for a moment, catches his breath. I am Doll. Perhaps you can answer some questions for me, Doll.
Updated my journal.
Thank you for the journal. What do you wish to know? Well, let's get some more information. What is this place? You in the mortuary, restless one. Again you have come. Before he can finish, Doll breaks into a fit of coughing. After a moment, he calms himself and his breathing resumes its ragged wheeze. This is the waiting room for those about to depart the shadow of this life. Though, clearly he knows us. Clearly he has some sort of bitterness for us that he is stifling with his words, but we have been here before. Again, we have come. Tell us about where we are. This is where the dead are brought to be interred or cremated. It is our responsibility as dustmen to care for the dead, those who have left this shadow of life and walked the path to true death. Doll's voice drops in concern. Your wounds must have exacted a heavy toll if you do not recognize this place. It is almost your home. Not only have we been here, but we've been here enough to where it's essentially our home. Shadow of life. Yes, a shadow. You see, restless one, this life, it is not real. Your life, my life, they are shadows flickering of what life once was. This life is where we end up after we die, and here we remain trapped, caged, until we can achieve the true death. True death? True death is non-existence, a state devoid of reason, of sensation, of passion. Doll coughs, then gives a ragged breath. A state of purity. Sounds like oblivion. Why would anybody want that? It is worse than remaining in the shadow of what life once was. Is it worse than remaining? I think not. So, what makes you think this life isn't real?
What makes you think this life is real? Look inside yourself. Do you not feel something lacking? This is a purgatory. There is only sorrow here, misery, torment. These are not the elements that make up life. They are part of the cage that traps us in the shadow.
So, clearly, some sort of fatalist. I think it's gotten the better of you. So they're part of life, but not the whole of it. Shakes his head.
Passions carry weight. They anchor many to this shadow of life. As long as one clings to emotion, they will continually be reborn into this life, forever suffering, never knowing the purity of true death.
So in order to truly die, you must discard essentially all of your worldly thoughts, your passions, your beliefs, your wants, essentially non-materialistic. How does one escape the cycle of rebirth? Yep, as I kind of thought.
Kill your passions. Strip yourself of the need for sensation. When you are truly cleansed, then the cycle of rebirth will end. And if you achieve peace, he sighs. It sounds like a death rattle in his throat. Past these shells of ours, past the eternal boundary, lies the peace that all souls seek. The eternal boundary. The boundary between the shadow of this life and the true death.
So, once we pass the eternal boundary, we will achieve the true death. So, tell us more about Dustmen.
We Dustmen are a faction, a gathering of those of us that recognize the illusion of this life. We await the next life and help others on their journey.
Perhaps you can explain why the Dustmen want me dead?
Dahl sighs. It is said there are souls who can never attain the true death. Death has forsaken them, and their names... Death has forsaken them, and their names shall never be penned in the dead book. To awaken from death as you have done suggests you are one of these souls. Your existence is unacceptable to our faction.
So, not only has this been our home, have we come and gone many a time, but our existence is unacceptable because we are somebody who death is not even acknowledging. It is essentially, we awake from death. Anytime we die, we will, I hate to use the term respawn, but essentially respawn into this world as a soul who can never truly die. And that, given this cult who essentially wants people to experience the true death, our very existence is unacceptable. That doesn't sound like it leaves me in a good position.
You must understand, your existence is a blasphemy to them. Many of our faction would order you cremated if they were aware of your affliction.
So, they, at large, are not aware. Dahl is. He doesn't seem to care, even though they apparently would want me cremated. But Dahl seems to be okay with us. Why don't you want to kill us?
Because forcing our beliefs upon you is not just. You must give up this shadow of life on your own, not because we force you to.
Dahl looks about... Yeah, okay, I did read that right. Dahl looks about to break into another coughing jag, but he manages to hold it in with some effort.
As long as I remain at my post, I will protect your right to search for your own truth.
Okay, Dahl, respect. He believes his own beliefs, but he says, you know what, dog? If you want to go look, if you want to find your truth, speak your truth, queen. Go find your truth. And, come to your own belief. What is your post?
I am a scribe, a cataloger of all the shells that come to the mortuary.
Dahl coughs again, then takes a deep breath.
As long as the stream of corpses flows through the mortuary, I shall remain at my post.
Okay, good question. You say that I have been here more than once. How is it that the Dustmen do not recognize me?
Updated my journal.
I am the one that catalogs the shells that come into our halls, restless one.
Dahl breaks into a fit of coughing, then steadies himself.
Only I see the faces of those that lie upon our slabs. The dark of your existence lies safe with me.
So, okay. the faces are covered. They don't see the faces. He is the one who catalogs them. Makes sense. What about this sigil?
Sigil is our fair city, restless one.
Fair enough. Wounds?
Yes, the wounds that decorate your body. They look as if they would have sent a lesser man along the path of true death, yet it seems as if many of them have healed already.
Dahl coughs violently for a moment, then steadies himself.
But those are only the surface wounds.
Only surface wounds? What do you mean?
Updated my journal.
I speak of the wounds of the mind. You have forgotten much, have you not? Mayhap your true wounds run much deeper than the scars that decorate your surface.
Dahl coughs again.
But that is something that only you would know for certain.
So our wounds are deep enough to kill us, kill a normal man, not us, but the wounds of our mind are perhaps deeper than we believe or that we are aware of, because we have clearly forgotten who we are, where we are, and why is this disembodied skeleton hand following me around? How did I get here? Dahl snorts in contempt, as if he finds the memory repugnant.
Your moldy chariot ferried you to the mortuary, restless one. You would think you were royalty based on the number of loyal subjects that lay stinking and festering upon the cart that carried you.
It's an interesting comparison. Stinking and festering. The number of loyal subjects implies that they were followers of ours, although seemingly dead. I have questions about that, but I arrived here in a cart.
Journal.
Yes, your body was somewhere in the middle of the heap, sharing its fluids with the rest of the mountain of corpses.
Dahl breaks into another violent fit of coughing, finally catching his breath minutes later.
Your seneschal, if that's how you pronounce that, Farad was, as always, pleased to accept a few moldy coppers to dump the lot of you at the mortuary gate.
Farad? Okay, so who is this Farad?
He is a collector of the dead.
Dahl draws a ragged breath and continues. Excuse me.
We have such people in our city that scavenge the bodies of those that have walked the path of true death and bring them to us so that they may be interred properly.
So, he is somebody that collects the dead and scavenges them so that they may be interred here at the mortuary. Where can I find him?
If events persist as they have, restless one, you have a much greater chance of Farad finding you and bringing you to us again before you find whatever ooze puddle he wallows in this time.
So, that seems to imply that this has happened enough times to where Farad finds us before we are even capable of finding him, which is kind of interesting. But nevertheless, I must find him. A slight warning creeps into Dahl's tone.
Do not seek out Farad, restless one. I am certain that it will simply come full circle again, with you none the wiser, and Farad a few coppers richer. Accept death, restless one. Do not perpetuate your circle of misery.
Interesting. So, this is clearly a cycle that we do. I wonder how many times we have had this exact conversation with Dahl. That we wake up, we have no idea who we are, and we say, hey, can you help us? And he says, listen, don't keep doing this. Just sit here, accept your fate, accept death, just stop doing what you're doing. But I have to find him. Do you know where he is?
Updated my journal.
Dahl is silent for a moment. When he finally speaks, he seems to do so reluctantly.
I do not know under which gutterstone Farad lairs at the moment, but I imagine that he can be found somewhere beyond the mortuary gates in the hive. Perhaps someone there will know where you can find him.
From the conversation, I can see it doesn't sound like you like him much.
There are some I respect, restless one.
Dahl takes a ragged breath and steadies himself.
Ferret is not one of them. He wears his ill repute like a badge of honor and takes liberties with the possessions of the dead. He is a knight of the post, cross-trading filth of the lowest sort.
So not only is he a collector of the dead, which may not necessarily be a problem to Dahl, but he is a collector who also trades items, the possessions of the dead, which naturally he might take issue with, given their respect for those that truly die.
A knight of the post,
Dahl coughs.
a thief. All Ferret brings to our walls comes stripped of a little less of their dignity than they posed in life. Ferret takes whatever he may pry from their stiffening fingers.
Okay, so if Ferret is this thief, it makes perfect sense that if we had a journal with us, he would take it. So, find Ferret, find journal. And clearly, this has happened enough times to where the tattoos in our back have etched that into us. So, I almost wonder if that's something that we had somebody else etch into our skin, these tattoos, so that we have this reminder, this repeated reminder when we die that, like, hey, if this journal is gone, chances are this guy that carries you into this mortuary has it. Did this Ferret take anything from me? He pauses, considering.
Most likely. Are you missing anything? Especially anything of value?
His voice dips as he frowns.
Not that Ferret would take exception to anything that wasn't physically grafted to your body. And sometimes even that's not enough to give his greedy mind pause.
I am missing a journal.
A journal? If it was of any value, then it is likely it lies in Ferret's hands.
Though I do wonder why, if it sounds like he takes items that are of value, that aren't necessarily worthless, why would this journal of ours be of value to him? Because my thought is that the journal that we're seeking, implied from the tattoos on our back, has meaning to us. It will tell us, hey, this is what happened to you in the past. This is because, assuming we can't die, right? We have been around the block more than a couple of times. And because of that, this journal probably has a list of what we've done. But why would Ferret find value in that? Which is interesting, because it might have more than just, hey, this is what has happened to us. Just trying to see what other questions there are. How do we get out of here?
The front gate is the most obvious exit, but they will not let anyone other than Dustman pass.
Dahl breaks into a ragged cough, then continues.
One of the guides by the front gate has the key to it, but it is unlikely he will open it for you unless you are extremely persuasive.
Well, that's why I put all those stats. I pumped them into charisma. And if not, then, well, I guess we'll have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Updated my journal.
Okay. It's an update, new dialogue. Do you know who I am?
I know scant little of you, restless one. I know little more of those that have journeyed with you, and who now lie in our keeping. I ask that you no longer ask others to join you, restless one. Where you walk, so walks misery. Let your burden be your own.
God, that's interesting. So those that have journeyed with us now lie in our keeping. I wonder if there have been others that have journeyed with us. I seem to recall maybe meeting somebody that has journeyed with us, but I am drawing a blank. So we'll see, I guess. But there are others, and they are here.
Updated my journal.
Do you not know the woman's corpse interred in the memorial hall below? I had thought that she had traveled with you in the past.
Dahl looks like he's about to start coughing again, then catches his breath.
Am I mistaken?
Well, I know nothing about her. Dahl makes no response to this. He simply stares at you in silence. Well, where can I find her?
The Northwest Memorial Hall on the floor below us. Check the biers there. Her name should be on the memorial plaques. Mayhap that will revive your memory.
I don't know. I don't ever recall traveling with a woman. Yeah, stares in silence. But where are the others who journeyed with us?
Doubtless there are, but I know not their names nor where they lie. One such as you has left a path many have walked, and few have survived.
Dahl gestures around you.
All did come here. Some must have traveled with you once.
Okay. I find no fault with that. What do you do here? Okay, this seems to be repeating the same. But you sound ill. Are you not well?
I am close now to the true death, restless one. It will not be long before I pass beyond the eternal boundary and find the peace I have been seeking. I tire of this mortal sphere.
Dahl gives a ragged sigh.
The plains hold no more wonders for one such as I.
Are you certain? There might be some way I can help you.
I do not wish to live forever, nor live again, restless one. I could not bear it.
So be it. Farewell. As you turn to leave, Dahl speaks.
Know this. I do not envy you, restless one. To be reborn as you would be a curse that I could not bear. You must come to terms with it. At some point, your path will return you here.
Dahl coughs, the sound rattling in his throat.
It is the way of all things flesh and bone.
Man, again, the way that this game is written so far is just so striking. It's like not only the description of the cough rattling his throat, pausing several minutes at a time, like describing people, but also to be reborn as you would be a curse that I could not bear. Well, perhaps if we have come here before, we likely will meet again, Dahl. All right, well, you know what? I think that is as good a place as any to leave it for here. Yeah, we've learned a lot already. Again, some of this, the basic premise of this game, I already had an idea of that. Hey, we're this guy. We can't die. No matter what we do, we've tried, perhaps in the past, to do so. I, don't know that. But we have a lot of wounds on us that would kill a normal man, but simply has brought us back here to the mortuary. And to put it simply, we will resurrect no matter how many times we die. And our health, we don't even have to take care of it because we're going to regenerate over time. Our body simply regenerates. We don't know why. We don't have any memory of our past lives. So seemingly every time we die, we will not have any memory of what has come before. But I assume if we do die now, we are keeping a journal, which will essentially spell out, hey, this is what we've done so far. We'll go ahead and connect with our journal next time just to give a little bit of a recap. But so far, again, I feel like this game is going to leave a very big impact on me. I can't wait because, again, I've only played like the introductory hours. I have explored some of the outside hub. But aside from that, man, this is just, I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea who we are, no idea what we've done, but I have a feeling I'm not going to like it. So thanks again for joining me for our first playthrough here of Planescape
What's the
Torment.
hold up?
Shut up, I'm just ending this session. All right, until next time.